Let's get now the latest from the ground. Berwar Muhammed Ali, the journalist from Hawar News Agency, will join us now live from Kobani city. Welcome, Berwar, to our bulletin. Since 15th of September, ISIS is attacking Kobani region fiercely with heavy weapons. After 20 days of fierce clashes between YPG fighters and ISIS gangs, how is the situation on the different battlefields?
Well, the clashes are still continuing since 90 to 20 days. As of yesterday evening was the heaviest. ISIS mercenaries tried 3 times last night to control over Mishta Noor Mount, east-south of Kobani Canton, using tanks, missiles and grab. But because of the heroic resistance by YPG, they could kill 18 mercenaries. Their fleshes are still on the ground. In the southern front of Kobani, also People's Protecting Units destroyed a tank belonging to ISIS terrorists, and all who were inside the tank killed. It is noteworthy here that ISIS gangs tried their best to invade Kobani, pretending to pray in Kobani with the first days of Al-Adha Eid. That's why they crowded many heavy weapons and munitions, bringing them from Raqqa, Grespi, and Deir ez-Zor to invade Kobani. Also last night, the American jets shelled east and south of Kobani and hit a direct target for ISIS. But still, these airstrikes are ineffective, and Kobani needs many of these airstrikes to be more effective. Last night, after the shelling of the jets, ISIS terrorists renewed their attacks on Mishta Noor Mount with tanks. Generally speaking, we can say that ISIS failed to control over Kobani after these intensified attacks and failed to pray as well as the first day of Al-Adha Eid in Kobani.
As you know, Berwar, many civilians have decided to stay in Kobani. Tell us please more about the humanitarian situation in Kobani city. How is the morale of the people there?
Yeah, let me, as for the situation inside Kobani, the city is calm, though ISIS shelled more than 90 missiles on the civilians inside Kobani. The situation are still, the institutions are still working, and the Asaish forces with the civilians are working for 24 hours daily to preserve the security inside the city, as well as the mothers in Kobani are still preparing the food for the fighters in the front. So we can say that, life is calm and quiet, and, the morals of the civilians really are so high, though of shelling. On the other hand, I wanted to raise the attention of the public opinion about something important, which is the Turkish authorities have closed all of the official and non-official border crossings in front of the stranded displaced on the border in Tel Shir village, west of Kobani, where neither they can come back to Kobani because ISIS is behind them, nor they can pass to Turkey because, the Turkish soldiers don't allow them to pass. So those stranded refugees are in a real risk of annihilation or genocide by ISIS.
So Kobani is now besieged from all the sides by ISIS gangs and Turkey. Let's move on now, Berwar, to something else. As you mentioned, the US-led coalition has conducted a number of airstrikes in Kobani surroundings. How did the people of Kobani react to the coalition airstrikes?
Of course, just as we are welcoming, these airstrikes, by American jets, but really they are insisting that these airstrikes are not enough, because whenever they attack, just ISIS, after this attack, just continue its shelling on Kobani Canton. So they are appealing to the humanitarian, organizations and, public opinion in Europe just to intensify these airstrikes, because really they are not effective. They are not effective. So they appeal to more shellings by airstrikes on, locations of ISIS around Kobani Canton. Yes.
Tell us, please, more, Berwar, about the situation on the border with the continuing attacks on Kobani. How is the situation on the border?
people on the border, as I mentioned, formally, that the Turkish authorities tightened the border, closed everything, not allowing for the people to pass. So they are just stranded on the border, those displaced people from the other village, and really they have no food, have no water, nothing, no supplies, no humanitarian aid, and they are just, filled with terrified feelings by ISIS because they cannot come back to Kobani, and ISIS is keep, threatening them that don't come back, and from time to time we see that they are shelling those, stranded civilians on the border.
Berwar Muhammed Ali, the journalist from Hawar News Agency, you spoke to us from Kobani City. Thank you very much for speaking to us.